IGT, baby.
What's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Junior Mafia coming back to you with another video. So we're going to be checking out 10 infamous WWE crowd plants by no other than WrestleMania. Now, for those who don't know what a crowd plant is, it's pretty much that specific person that's being involved in a feud or anything that revolves around, you know, the superstars. And they'll mostly keep it under the radar, so you know people don't know about it, we shocked about it, and you know people are gonna be speculating that, you know, is this legit a fan coming in and doing all those other things? Nah, like they're into that specific storyline or whatever it is going on. So those do be the highlight moments of a show, a match, whatever the case is, you know, and especially during the Attitude Era and all, it definitely became a huge role for that. So I know there's gonna be a few that we're gonna check out and all that, and I definitely want to see what they got this list, you know. And I got the shirt on. There's gonna be some DX related stuff within that, so I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate y'all love and support, and let's get right into it.
Being a WWE superstar. Yeah, kid. Take a
Just tore that nigga shirt off.
Pro wrestling terminology describes a planted fan as a person who's been placed in the audience for a specific role during a show.
Yep.
Oftentimes it's to provide exaggerated reactions when a match spills into the crowd, while other times it's to allow a heel wrestler to attack a fan for heat without the worry of facing legal action. It's a storytelling technique that WWE has relied upon for much of its existence, and many such occurrences have gone down in history for all the wrong reasons. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 of the most infamous WWE crowd plants. Number 10, Hey DX, suck these.
Oh boy, remember what I said, chat?
Nudity isn't exactly a common sight in WWE, though it was certainly less than rare to see more skin than you bargained for during the Attitude Era, with Jacqueline and, well, regrettably Mae Young amongst those who have bared it all. It was also during this era that D-Generation X were at the peak of their adolescence, as it began drawing the ire of the female audience, many of whom were all too happy to indulge in the group in the most vivid fantasies. On one occasion during the July 20th, 1998 Raw, a blonde fan held up a sign that simply read, "Hey DX, suck these," with two arrows pointing down to, well, her top. She lifted her top up, but not content with that, Triple H gestured back for her to reveal more of herself, and the woman certainly obliged, with a bitch.
And look at that. Yo. Back in the days, my parents did not let me watch WWF. I had to sneak in when my cousin had it on. That's how I got introduced to it. And when we used to have the cable box back then, I would try to catch Monday Night Raw any chance I could. And when they used to do stuff like this, like I had to literally be in another room and we had the TV low, you know, just so my mom would see it. Because instantly she would have said that. She would say, if you don't turn that shit off, like, that's the kind of mentality they would roll with. But back then, they didn't care. Like, we had some leeway to do stuff like this. It was a different time, a different era. Nowadays, you can't do that so much. But if you was watching WWF at this time, that time frame, and, you know, even like the early 2000s, this was what we was getting. And my God, as we've been excited for that. Been excited for that, man. So take me back. Those were the golden ages of professional wrestling.
Chest exposed for the world to see, acting as a perfect summary for the
Like,
Attitude
yo,
Era.
look at
Fans
that.
have since
Somebody
convinced
being there
themselves
seeing
that
that
she was
shit.
a plant hired to flash her goods for a sweet paycheck, a rumor that received further evidence in 2025.
And I'm surprised nobody even attempted to grab one of them. Like, if you know, you know, because anybody that do that, especially you got some horn dogs in that crowd, you'd be surprised none of them looked at that and said, yo, either I'm gonna shoot my shot or let me just grab one while we're on camera. Like, those are the shocking moments of it all. But I'm pretty sure they probably told everybody, this specific person gonna be part of this show. What she's about to do, I'm advising y'all better not touch her. Otherwise, you'll get fined or get arrested. Whatever the case is. So they probably was fully aware of it. So the most you could do was just watch. So even that was enough for motherfuckers to go into frenzy. So that was dope.
as she actually resurfaced in the crowd at WrestlePalooza,
She
decked out
did?
in ESPN branded merchandise.
Oh.
This time though, she kept herself fully clothed.
Wow.
Number 9, Triple H wants to see
Still
more.
good.
Sticking with the Attitude Era and indeed
Jericho's
sticking with the
wild.
game, because before he had married Stephanie McMahon and he was still romantically linked to China, Triple H was horned up to the maxes. He constantly
was
signaled
wild.
to female members of the audience to reveal themselves
Look
to him.
at this.
And as we've already touched upon, and come September 1998, another blonde made all his dreams come true. After tagging with X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws in a winning effort over Kai and Tai in the main event of Raw's September 12, 1998 episode, Triple H spotted a female fan in the crowd wearing black leather trousers that was embroidered with the DX logo on the rear.
Right, look at that.
He
man.
gestured towards her, and she reciprocated, revealing her bare bottom. As if this wasn't yet another perfect summarization for the Attitude Era, Jerry
Different
Lawler on
time.
commentary was hollering Yahoo as if he was a horny Mario. Number 8, Bronson Reed.
Once again, this is the same Jerry Lawler who be a horn dog as well. You see the comment he made, when talking about Sable, when talking about Tori Wilson, like all the females, he's superstars you see, or somebody in the crowd that do stuff like that. Jerry Lawler cannot help himself. Like he be horny to the max. So his infamous puppies, yahoo! Like he used to do shit like that. Y'all let me know in the comments down below. Do y'all remember Jerry Lawler and his crazy horny scenarios and stuff like that? Like that was crazy, yo.
Yeet a fan. Now, although the word yeet was revived in 2023 as a new catchphrase for Jey Uso, it was Bronson Reed who found inspiration in its other meaning the following year, as he used a supposed fan like a torpedo to take down Braun Strowman. The chaotic incident occurred during a well-received brawl between the two on the September 16th, 2024 Raw. Reed was thrown out to ringside and he had to think fast for a solution when the Monster Among Men charged right towards him. But this is when he grabbed a fan out of the front row and launched him straight at Strowman, who managed to catch him successfully and avoid adding another broken body to the pile. In storyline, Bronson was fined an undisclosed sum of money for his actions. Speaking to Chris Van Vliet about the incident, Reed explained his thinking as to why his spot went viral as opposed to anything else he and Braun Strowman did to each other. Yeah, he had a yeet shirt on. I mean, I didn't expect that one to be as viral as it is. That actually got the most views out of everything from the most recent match we did.
Wow.
I thought maybe going through the wall would be more viral, but it was getting hit with a fan getting thrown. I think because people just aren't expecting it. Again, yeah, he's doing his train thing, and then out of nowhere, you just see some guy coming to the screen. Number 7, finding out where the big boys play.
I don't think that was planned. Thing is, I don't know if that was planned or not because, just like what Bronson Reed said, he getting fined for that. I think that was him just thinking off the fly, and he said, "All right, I gotta pivot another direction. Let me go grab this fan real quick and throw this nigga into Braun Strowman." And it's like how people looking like, "What the hell? Like, was this playing this shit?" But clearly it wasn't, and him getting fined for that and all. But I mean, it was still a good look because it ended up, getting a lot of views, and it's been going viral lately. So, although it kind of throws a curveball in the sense of, damn, like, I got to pay this X amount of money to do so, guess what? That became a memorable moment. And shout out to, that fan that decided to go with that spot and land on Braun Strowman. Like, thank God nobody got hurt. He's okay, and Braun Strowman's okay. Like, all that stuff. So, they played the safe there, but, I still think that was a highlight moment there. And let's be honest, if it was any of us, including me, I would have took that. I would say, yo, he gonna throw me? Say less. Okay. And I'll make it look perfect. So that's just a fantastic moment there, man. And those things you cherish being a wrestling fan, and especially being involved, within, that type of spots and all that. So shout out to him.
To the ring during a live wrestling event is unfortunately nothing new. But you need to have the balls of steel to do so during a steel cage match between Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper, which is precisely why WCW hired a plant to do the job instead. Yes, technically this is WCW, but when are we ever going to talk about this again? The Hulkster and the Hot Rod closed out the 1997 Halloween Havoc pay-per-view with a certified dud of a steel cage match, and despite winning the match with a sleeper hold, it was Piper who was beaten down after the match at the hands of Hogan and Randy Savage. Cue the fan whose face was covered by a sting mask to scale the cage, be immediately mauled by a security guard, and subsequently eat the fist of a former Megapowers who ended the night in a confusing and drawn-out assault of this random intruder.
Jesus.
Unlike other instances of fans rushing the ring, there was never any doubt about whether or not this one was a work. WCW's shoddy production crew had a camera waiting to film the fans' interference before it even jumped the barrier. Number 6, Natalya packs a slap.
I think that was a work. If you have the camera pan on that specific person and he's going up that cage or whatever spot they about to do, 9 times out of 10, he is involved with that match and all that stuff. So, you know, they bound to do that so it doesn't come off any suspicions of like, yo, some random person just getting in here and all that we don't know who's interfering with the work that we do. And it throws everybody through a loophole. So, you know, to see that, it's like it kind of gives off that weird assumption, like, is he part of it or not? And of course, they probably didn't know, and hence the reason why they were trying to pack him up when he did enter that cage. But yeah, and those different scenarios and all that too, like they pretty much will talk about it and, you know, bring you like up to speed of what's happening. And then when that spot happens, then, you know, they're completely on it. They're gonna throw a lot of niggas off guard with that, but it leads to different special moments. That one right there, 50-50.
The WWE enforces such strict rules against its superstars that it would be impossible in the modern age for them to devise a spot where a planted fan was slapped across the face. Even shoving the plants out of your face is known to send Triple H into a frenzy. This is why WWE's various working relationships have been so successful. They allow wrestlers who have only ever known the in-house WWE style to wrestle somewhere where the rules are a little bit more relaxed. Such was the case when Natalya ventured to the NWA in May of 2025. After unsuccessfully challenging Kenzie Page for the company's World Women's Championship, Natty shut down an antagonizing front row fan with a stern slap to the jaw. And though discussion quickly flooded social media about the reality of the situation, it quickly emerged that the fan was indeed a plant. In true wrestling fashion, a photo of the two posing together was shared on social media after, because nothing shocking can happen in pro wrestling anymore without the suspension of disbelief being instantly burst. Number 5, Serena's straight edge initiation. Now, there were countless examples of legendary WWE figures that made their televised debut as a planted fan in the audience, with Earthquake, Beth Phoenix, and Steve Blackman among them. But while they all achieved some kind of success in WWE, the same couldn't be said about Serena Deeb. An accomplished independent wrestler before she signed with WWE, Deeb was fast-tracked to the main roster in January 2010 as a member of CM Punk's Straight Edge Society.
I remember
group.
that too.
As Punk was scouring the crowd for his latest disciple, he discovered Serena, whom he invited in the ring for a mandatory shave. And that was it. Serena didn't really do much else in the company before her release that September. The reasoning behind her exit is also hilarious, as she was seen by fans drinking in a bar, which went against the group's anti-alcohol stance. It just goes to show that not all WWE debutantes are given an equal opportunity, because while she was getting her head shaved on her first night, another planted fan was winning the Intercontinental Championship.
I know everybody get into that, but his thing, I did remember her part of the Straight Edge Society, and I'm like, yo, who was this random person? You know, just jumped in the crowd like out of nowhere and decided to get her head shaved and all. So back then we didn't know so much about it, you know, and I didn't know about her work in the indies and all that just until now. So it had us give a cause to pause, like somebody just decided to jump the barricade, go in there and just get their head shaved for no issues, you know, until you found later on down the line, like, yeah, she worked in the indies, like she is a crowd plant, you know, and, you know, she ended up being with them, like, career in WWE didn't last long because they really had that much for her. But at that particular moment, to have her faction up with CM Punk and Luke Gallows and all that stuff, it was a good moment for what it was. And then after that, we didn't see her. So, you know, I hope she's doing good now.
Number 4, the Milan Miracle. Now, the most famous example of a planted fan turning into a fully fledged WWE superstar is Santino Marella capturing the Intercontinental Championship on his first night on the job.
Yeah, I remember
Marella was
that.
plucked
Crazy.
out of the audience by Mr. McMahon as a contender for the title, held at the
on
time
Umaga.
Umaga, when Monday Night Raw emanated from Milan, Italy on April 16, 2007. However, like any other time a fan has been forced into a match, he was a fully trained wrestler. He'd been training in Ohio Valley Wrestling, WWE's then developmental territory, for the previous 2 years. Unsurprisingly, the match was little more than an Umaga squash until Bobby Lashley interfered, toppling the Samoan Bulldozer and allowing Santino Marella to make history in his supposed homeland. Real name Anthony Corelli, Santino is actually Canadian, though he can speak some Italian, which was enough to convince Mr. McMahon that he was the right man for the spot. He explained as such on the Developmentally Speaking podcast, saying,
So, Vince had an idea for someone to debut in Italy, and he asked somebody to look at the developmental roster and see if we have any Italian people there. So my shoot name, of course, Anthony Corelli. Corelli is Italian. And they called me and they asked me if I could speak Italian, and I could speak a little. I could say a few things. I wasn't fluent by any means, but fake it till you make it. Like the next day, I flew to Italy.
Number 3, the loose cannon.
And that's the thing. Those little bit of things right there can get you a gimmick. That's how Vince McMahon had operated. That's how his mind operates and all. So the fact that you're not Italian on, but your last name sounds Italian and you can speak a little bit of it, that alone is going to say, okay, this is what you're going to go with and all. Like, people going to look at it as an insult and all that stuff. But truth be told, Santino Marella, for having that character alone and where he excelled that from his tenure with WWE, it was pretty damn good as a comedic role and all that stuff. It worked out. So you'll be surprised on a lot of things that they have going for some people there that end up being like a crowd plant and all, how their career kind of shifts, with the company and all. But yeah, for Santino, man, for his time being there, he was funny. I am going to disagree with that.
Goes off. Brian Pillman notoriously put a ton of effort into the development of his loose cannon character, and that even extended to him assaulting planted fans on multiple occasions in both ECW and the WWF. The first recorded instance occurred when Brian returned to Paul Heyman's Land of the Extreme at SummerSlam 96. Interviewed by The Ring by Joey Styles, the former WCW star viscerally insulted Eric Bischoff and the ECW audience that he claimed was full of smart marks. And as he was being escorted out of the building, he dragged a fan out of the crowd and sliced him with a fork. The second time was which during a taping for WWF Shotgun Saturday Night in the summer of 97, it saw Pillman brandish a pencil as a weapon of choice, as once again he dragged out a fan of the front row while providing commentary. Regardless of whether or not they were real fans or paid actors, both should be thankful that the loose cannon didn't recreate his iconic Pillman's Got a Gun angle.
That gun.
Number 2, SummerSlam 2011.
Look at that. You just sitting there throwing crowds out of it and grabbing a foot and literally just poking them in the forehead with it. Like, albeit if that was just any like innocent bystander that was there that he just grabbed out of the crowd and just constantly hit them with a fork or stabbing them with a fork, it would have caused some cause to pause and all. But that alone was just a scary sight and all. And then the infamous Pillman got a gun thing that he had pulled on Stone Cold. Like, it was crazy. But rest in peace to Brian Pillman, Mr. Crash Out himself.
Famous faces. Now, as we discussed in the intro of the video, WWE will sometimes hire external actors and wrestlers to sit in specific areas of the crowd to guarantee over-the-top reactions when a match ends up in the audience. And at SummerSlam 2011, 2 of those faces were very familiar indeed. Joey Ryan and Shawn Ricker, the future LA Knight, were both captured on camera, providing their lively reactions when Mark Henry power-slammed Sheamus through the barricade. Their reactions have been since described as Home Alone-like, with Rickers especially helping elevate the gravitas of the spot, given that he was seated directly next to the broken section of the barricade. Their involvement as extras, as is still the case to this day, resulted in both being offered a tryout with WWE. They were both unsuccessful, though Ricker later returned to WWE for 2 stints, first as Slate Randall in 2013, and subsequently as LA Knight, the name he remains under today. And number 1, Green Shirt Guy. Throughout the history of WWE, there's been a handful of fans who have managed to achieve a lick of fame, but there's perhaps none more instantly recognizable than Green Shirt Guy. Having attended nearly every PLE broadcast for the past 15 years, he can typically be seen sitting directly opposite the hog cam, clad in a baseball cap, an iconic green smiley face t-shirt. leaving fans worldwide thinking the same question: is he actually a WWE plant? Well, whilst many have their theories, according to WWE CEO Nick Khan, he's not. The WWE president appeared on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast in December 2025, where he addressed how Green Shirt Guy still affords the steep ticket prices
we
to
all
attend
want to
WWE for as long as he's been. One of the sister companies at WWE and UFC is On Location, which is VIP hospitality and entertainment. So he pays for his seats. He pays a premium for those seats through On Location, and that's why he gets to be in the front row. Despite Khan's claims, the leading conspiracy theories amongst fans are that Green Shirt Guy either has a high-ranking WWE family member on the payroll, or he got free tickets for life for being assaulted at a WWE event, with many firmly believing that he was a man accidentally punched by CM Punk during an infamous segment in October 2012.
Damn.
However, that is a completely different guy. But there you have it, folks. 10 of the
Wow,
most
I did
infamous
not know that. Yo, for a second, people thought that was the Green Shirt Guy, but it was a total different person there. Nah, he literally got clocked by CM Punk. But that goes to show you, man, keep your fucking hands to yourself. Things like that won't happen. But yeah, I guess we all trying to figure out what the Green Shirt Guy, like, how did he keep sitting front row seats at these events? And they will be from Raw, SmackDown, damn near every PLE, even international ones. And then I was thinking like, yo, where this motherfucker go all this money from? But now to find out that he pays VIP to be at this events and all that stuff, it makes a lot more sense. Because I'm pretty sure people asking that question like, are you a part of WWE and all that, or is it a specific lawsuit you having? Like, nah, like it's just he does I think he said he does Bitcoin or something like that, and you know, just off that revenue and all that stuff, that's what probably gave him, you know, the opportunity to get those VIP seats and all that at WWE events. Hence the reason why we see him there. So, you know, I don't pocket check nobody, you know. You're a fan of the product and you did, hey, salute to you and all that. Green Shirt Guy, you know, he's very cool people and all that stuff from what I've been hearing and all. So shout out to him, man. Keep doing your thing. But yeah, comment down below. Let me know what's some other wrestling related videos you want me to check out, and you know, what's your favorite WWE crowd plant moment that we have, whether it was the Attitude Era, or it was just the Ruthless Aggression, or even, you know, today's modern WWE. But I want to know what your opinions in the comment down below, and I appreciate your love and support. Road to 250 subscribers. Continue to keep God first. Trust the process of anything that you do in life. Your time will come, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video. Peace.